And now our final presentation is Vince Cerf, the Chairman of the Board of Trustees.
I see that I have 10 minutes or less, and I'll try to make it less so that you'll have some time for open microphone. Could I have the slides, please? Is there, oh, I get to control this myself. That's cool. There we go. Okay, so there are just a few things that the Board of Trustees does, and as you can see, a fairly long list of them have to do with financial and fiduciary responsibilities. I refuse to read every single one of these, but I want to draw your attention to a few in particular. First of all, we're quite conscious of the cost of travel, and so we're making sure that board members who are traveling to other than meetings like this one or other face-to-face board meetings clear that travel ahead of time. The second thing is that the audit was absolutely clean. I've been on many nonprofit boards in the past, and I can tell you that the way in which this audit was conducted and the way in which the staff responded produced a spotless report from the audit committee, and of course that made me and the rest of the board members, and I hope you, very happy. Another thing to point out is that we made some modifications to the bylaws, which I hope you noticed, and they were intended to protect your interests. So if you're not sure about what those were or what the intent was, just generally speaking, it was intended to make sure that the bylaws could not be changed without your consultation under for certain of the provisions in the bylaws. Let me go to the next slide here. The next thing is just to show you all the various things that got adopted. This has already been referred to. I want to emphasize the importance and value of the AC's work and the work of this community in helping guide the board towards provisions that it can, or recommendations and policies that it can adopt. And so you can see that you've done a great deal of work, and the board has concurred with the value and quality of your recommendations. There are a bunch of other things that the board does, and in fact, this is my last slide, and I want to point out something. As I was preparing, going through these, I realized that there's a lot of stuff that the board members do that you might not know about, and so I'm now going to commit to providing you with more regular information, not just in these meetings, but on the website, about the activities of board members who are serving your interests in many, many different venues. In particular, if you look at the last bullet there, I even neglected to mention ARIN on the road, but there are board members who participate in that as well. I participated in the IGF. I've been very active along with the other board members in many of the internet governance activities, the committees that are producing various and sundry recommendations. This is a very, let me call it fluid time in the history of the internet. Our role as ARIN, our participation in the ICANN space, and the general interest of governments in let me say, asserting more authority over what goes on in the internet is an incredibly important topic, and it's one which has potential hazards in it. And so I can tell you that the board members, the AC members, and others who are engaged are here to protect all of our interests in keeping the internet open, useful, and productive. I have one last thing to mention, and that is an attempt to alert the general public to the importance of IPv6 by the good graces of the ARIN staff. I ended up on the Stephen Colbert show. And I have to tell you, that was a pretty remarkable experience. We did get a shot at what IPv6 was, which amazed me because I figured that Stephen wouldn't let me say anything sensible. The only other thing I can tell you is that it was not pre-planned. We didn't have any discussions about what we were going to say or do. And when he popped that matrix architect question on me, I was not prepared for that. But he got what he deserved. So I'll stop here. I thank you very much for your attention. I'm happy to try to answer any questions you have. But let me thank you, all of you again, for all the support that you give to ARIN and the work that you put into it. Thank you.
Any questions for Vint or the Board of Trustees?
I'll turn the
I-
podium over to you.
I will ask for a round of applause for the Board of Trustees and all of their volunteer efforts that they make keeping the organization running.